So this might be a little long and drawn out video, but I had a request from a student actually who wanted to see how I create apps starting from scratch. Exactly what I do. So this is where I start at. I start in AI Studio, Google AI Studio. I have a prompt that I usually give to it. It lays out all the game plan, the rules, the way I want it formatted, the app, uh, the architecture, and everything. So I'll usually copy and paste that into there. Wait for it to confirm it, and then we'll go on from there. So I mean, I'll try to include this file wherever I upload this, whether it's YouTube or not, if it allows me to attach a file to it. If not, I may just give you my email to pick it up if you decide you want to do it the exact same way I'm doing it. All right, so now we'll describe what we want. I wanted something short and sweet. The first thing I thought of was like a notes app that I could put notes in as well as objectives and have it create a game plan for me to reach the objectives as well as creating quizzes based on the objectives and my notes. So let's try and create a decent prompt to begin with. That's horrible spelling. All right, so let's start out with that and see what we get. It should give me some code, and I'll show you what we do with that. All right, so first it's telling me the Stop scrolling. Come on. So first thing that's going to tell me the 3 files that we're going to create to begin with. And then it's going to give me the code for each of those files. So we'll go ahead and create those files. So these are the folders for the other apps that I've created. We'll create a folder to hold this in. I'm going to call it Notes app. I create all my files in Notepad. Notepad. So we're going to do a new text document. Name it engine. We're going to do another one. Dialogues. And another one. Now, these aren't the right format. They're still in text, but we'll save them as Python files as we put the code in. So let's open each of these. Engine open, it's blank. We'll open dialogues. Keep them all open in the notepad. I usually just, when I'm working on something, I just keep the notepad open with the files in there. So it's easy to get to. All right, so scroll down and see if it finished all the code. All right, so I finished the code for engine. So we'll copy that code, open the notepad, go over to engine, paste it in there. Now we're going to do a file save as. Pull this down to all files and change the .text to .py. So now we're saving it as a Python file. Then we're going to do the same thing for dialogues. Here's the code for that. Scroll down, make sure it's finished. Okay, finished here. Copy that code in here and save as. Pull down. PY. So one more to go. APP. That code. Throw it in there. Save as. Okay, so once we got that, we can go back to the folder. We can get rid of all of the text files because now they're all saved as Python files. Now with my rules at the end, it's going to tell me what it did. It'll tell me the summary of what it created. It'll tell me how to test it. You see here, it's running us through some tests. So basically, it will tell you that you have to install some prerequisites, some files, and it will give you it's not asking me to install into here, but it will tell you the exact command line to install the files. So while we're testing this and creating it, everything is going to be done in command line. So we're going to go to here. If you right click, go to open terminal. Now to start a Python, well, first off, you're going to need to install Python. It's available in the Windows Store. Where's the Windows Store? Okay. You go to the Microsoft Store. Come on. Here and look for Python. This is the very basic of what you need. I would install the latest one, 3.13. already have it installed, but you go there and install it. Once you have that installed, then you can run these Python files. Um, and like I said, if it needs anything else, it will give you the command line. You just copy and paste it in here. So now that I opened command line inside of this folder, all I have to do is type Python to start it, and then the name of the app that I want to run. Now my rules tell the AI to create the app so that I run app to start the program. So app.py should start the app for us, and we'll see what it created. So here's what it made. So I can upload the objectives here. Yeah, I think I do have some. So let's see what it looks like if I upload them. Okay, so that's the basic. And from this point, you're just beta testing. You're seeing what it does that you need, running through the tests that it tells you to do. Like I can tell right away that I don't like the way that it's importing the objectives. I don't know what this bulk import is. It's not opening anything anywhere that I can see. Let's see, navigate to objectives, click bulk import paste. So I get my objectives as a PDF file. So I would want it to be able to accept the PDF file. So that would be the first change I'd want to make. So I'm going to go close this. I can leave that open because I'm going to be running it again to test it. I'll leave that open as long as I'm testing. I'll also leave Notepad open to make the changes easy. So now I'm going to tell it what I want to change. All right, then it should tell me what I need to change and give me the code that I need to change. Also, one of my rules is that I tell it not to give me partial code. Sometimes, if you don't have those rules in, it'll just give you a snippet and tell you to go find this part of your file and change it. I tell it to give me entire files. So when I need to change code, it's going to give me the entire, in this case, engine. It's going to give me the entire file, not just the part that needs to change. If you're feeling confident with coding and you want that, then it'll just give you snippets. So let's see. Is engine the only one changing? So it's saying dialogues is not going to be updated, but it didn't say anything about APP. So let's see what it gives me. So it did also give me an update for APP. All right, so this is the code for engine. We're going to copy that, go to Notepad, go to engine. I usually just go to select all, get rid of it, paste a new one in. Then I already saw that it was going to do APP also, so I'll select all here. Go back to the chat, scroll down to the end, make sure it's all there. Copy the code, and paste it in there. Once again, it's telling me what it changed and how to test it. We're just going to go do it. So Once you're in terminal, you can just hit the up arrow. It brings up your last command. We're going to start it up again. All right, so now I can import it as a PDF. So let's go find. Should have opened the box to ask me where the PDF is. I don't see anything opening any of my screens. So let's see. It wants us to create the cert. So I told it to give it a way to keep them separate. So maybe I got to create the cert first and then upload the objectives. So let's try that. It probably told me that and how to test it, but let's see. There we go. All right. So yeah, I had to create the cert and then go in and upload the objectives. So let's go find it. I think I have some A plus objectives in here. Hmm. Actually, let's not do A plus. Actually, see if we can just change the name of that because A plus is split between core 1 and core 2. So let's do core 1 so we make sure it's right. Now it's important. See what we come up with. Core 1 objectives. Okay, so that's definitely the overall objectives. We can probably break that down more. I mean, that's what beta testing is all about. So let me see what exactly is in that PDF. So here's those objectives in the PDF. So it just grabbed these, the domains. Is there any breakdown? Yeah, so now I can tell it to go in there and tell it to grab these subdomains too. Like I said, this is all part of testing, adding, updating, changing things. It can take a couple hours to finish this. We're not going to shoot the video the whole time. So now I can tell it, um, let's try to make this one change. So, I mean, I like this, but I would want those objectives like 1.1, 1.2 down here somewhere. So it breaks it down even further. So that way I know if I've met 1.1, I may not have met the overall objective, but did I meet 1.1 and 1.2? And then we got all these other things to test too. So, but that's what it is. It's beta testing, trying, changing things. Let's go do that real quick. See if we can get that imported. What do I call that? Sub objectives, mini objectives. Let's see. It'll know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. All right, let's go with that. So I've written some apps in an hour if it's not really detailed. Other apps have taken me a week to get it to exactly where I want. This one does have some detail in it. It's got three different areas we're doing. The objectives are notes and creating quizzes on the fly. All of those would be tabs I'd want to go through in each one and troubleshoot each one or beta test each one like we're doing with this one, um, and get them to where I want them. So let's see if we can get the objective tabs at least partially there. And then at least you would have a game plan on how to start, where to start with this. And I do everything in Google AI Studio. I think I said that at the beginning. You could probably do the same thing in Chat GPT. So we're going to be changing engine. Did I say? Come on. So it says app and dialogues is not changing. So only engine is going to change. All right, so we're going to go over to engine, get rid of that code. This, throw it in there. All right, now we'll go test it again. I'm assuming at this point I'm just going to re-upload the objectives and see if it brings in the smaller objectives. Okay, so I've got 28 this time versus the 5 that I got last time. Okay, so it looks like it did the same 5 we have last time and then put the other ones underneath of it. Although some of them it didn't grab the names. So this is something that I would have to, work with it and figure it out. Maybe I would want to be able to edit these domains myself and put names in here if it can't grab them from the PDF. So I would maybe put an update in here where it gives me an edit button and I can edit that and rename it myself. But that's pretty much where I start doing the app, and it's beta testing and updating and fixing, and from there. One other thing I did want to show you before we finish this. Once you got it perfected, you can always put a shortcut on the desktop that runs Python, and you can even ask AI how to do that. So once you're at a point where you feel good about the app, ask it, how do I make a shortcut on my desktop to run this? But the one thing I did want to show you before we shut this off, um, in the app folder, I always create a folder called stable version. Once I get to a point where I'm 99% complete with the app, and at that point I'm just doing feature ads or updates or stuff like that, I will put all of the files in that stable version before I make updates. So let's say that, I've created this app, I've been using it, and I decide I need something else in there. But I don't want to mess up what I have because it's already working. If I go in and start rewriting code because I want to add another button or something, before I do any ads, I'm going to copy everything and put it in stable version. So that way I have a backup of the app that actually is working. So if I go in here and Google AI messes it up completely and the app completely stops working and I can't fix it, I can always go into the stable version, pull those files, and bring them back out here. So that's kind of my local backup before I do any But I don't really start doing that until I've got the app 99% complete. After for this particular app, it would be after I go through all three tabs, and I like the way that it's looking. I can put my notes in there. I can create quizzes on the fly. I can upload the objectives. Like I can tell you now, I don't like the way that it did those objectives. Personally, I would want it the way it was before. The main objectives up here. So I got objective 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4, 5, all up here. And then maybe a space down here and another title like these up here that says mini objectives or smaller objectives, and all the 1.1, 1.2 listed down here. So that way I can scroll down here, see all the small ones, but also up here all the big ones together. And then as I work through the small ones down here, I can see check marks saying that, yeah, I've met that objectives according to the notes that I put in there. And then as those get checked off, then it would check off the one main overall objective. And to me, that would just look cleaner. And then I would also need to fix these names. Like, I'm sure 2.1 has a name in the PDF. Why I didn't get that, I don't know. But I'd have to go through and either tell the app to fix that, or tell the app that I want an edit button so I can fix that and paste the name in there. And maybe even have an edit button where I can move these around. Then I can move it back the way I want it. So I could say, have click on this one and move it up to here, or somehow tell it I want it second in the here. But it's all about beta testing, fixing, and updating at this point. Once you create the app, then you got the basics done, and just make it the way you want to do it. Make it look the way you want it.